since the pre-shadow period, we have had daily posts of things that you can do during the day to help you during this period. So it just helps you ground you, and that is only $3 a month. And so it is super accessible to get the level of support it is in its community as well. So let's get started. If you're new, we start the session off with a prayer. Prayer is so important. It is balancing, grounding energy. It is not a religious prayer. It is a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, you know, that's my favorite line. Do I have your permission to say a prayer? Beautiful. May I touch you? Okay. Let's just open this energy up. Relax. This is a grounding. So whatever you say during your prayers or meditation or whatever it is that you do, you know, maybe you just give yourself a pep talk, affirmation, whatever it is that you do, you can incorporate that energy in this moment. I really worked on this prayer, and I made this the most inclusive prayer that I could, and you've seen the evolution of the Reiki healing hope prayer change over time, and this is by far my favorite prayer. So let's go ahead and get started. Breathe in, exhale. Okay. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest vibrational good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am Ashe, 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 and I hope you felt that in your spirit the way that I feel it in mine. Just relax. Now y'all really gonna be appreciating this prayer once we get into Saturn. Once Saturn has its Pisces return. Saturn and its Pisces return is really going to be about faith and stuff. So that's going to be happening March, April of 2023. So, you know, we'll get into that then. We're still in Aquarius and we're well into it. So we pretty much have those themes there. So let's work on this cord cutting and removing. So I'm going to, it's more like maybe a cord pulling, but just removing the energy and just detaching it from you. This has really, really close ties to that recent total lunar eclipse, because there we had to give up some toxic codependent behavior in order to heal. So this is very much so in relation to that, and this is just some residual work that we are doing to kind of get that out. Now, I explained to those who caught the live on Array Tarot when I did the intuitive reading for that moon, that with that full moon being in Scorpio versus the eclipse we had last November, which was in Taurus, the theme was different. The goal for this was healing. You're healing the past because of that South Node in Scorpio energy, but the full moon was still in Scorpio. But Taurus energy is more physical, so you have to give something up. It is not an emotional, energetic thing. It is more of a physical routine thing. So you had to give up a codependent behavior, a toxic behavior, a karmic cycle, something that you live out in your everyday life. You had to give that up in order to heal. Things that we did to enable ourselves in our physical life from preventing us from healing, because maybe we never had the time to focus on our healing, or maybe we didn't feel like our healing was important enough, or maybe we pushed our healing so far down that we didn't even know what we were looking at, not even really realizing that these behaviors were enabling that situation. So we gave that up, consciously or unconsciously, to work through the healing that comes there. So you can work with the universe, or you can receive give up people, dynamics we have with people that don't work. And we need to celebrate the people in our life with good dynamics. There are many times that you may have toxic loyalty or trauma with someone that you're just so grateful they're nice to you on a Tuesday and they treat you like trash any other day. That lets you know that that is not the connection you need to have. But there are people quietly in your life supporting you, amplifying you, not taking up space. But if you're in a constant state of trauma, you're in a constant state of anxiety, you are in that state of depression as well. You're only able to see the things that are vibrating at that level. But it's time to break that, physically break that cycle and celebrate those people in your life that are quietly loving and supportive. And you cannot allow yourself to bring any codependent behavior into those interactions too. Sometimes that's why the focus might not be there too, because you may be used to being in codependent situations. So being over here, it means you have to learn to be autonomous. You have to learn to be self-fulfilling, and you have to work at a higher vibrational state. Just working through that energy. Yeah, baby, this takes some work, Our energetic health is so important. And it is our personal responsibility to work through that at all times. Our personal responsibility. Let me just wipe it off you too. Okay. It's okay, it does that all the time. Breathing in and out. Moving through this. Now, if you're ready to change your mindset, if you are ready to live at a level of your purpose, and only you know what your purpose is, but to live at a level of your purpose, you have to start seeing yourself from the bigger eye, the bigger picture. You cannot play small. You cannot diminish your goals. You cannot underestimate what you're doing. You have to look at yourself from the power that you truly stand in. Healing is a part of that power. When you work towards your healing, you surrender to the universe and you just allow those wounds to lay open, to be healed by the beautiful healing rays of the sun. You shift your trajectory. You start moving from a more centered power. Okay. Keep breathing. And also understand, babies, there's healing in words too. Sometimes you can have a conversation with somebody and just them saying something, just the interaction that you all have together, like is my intention for us to have on a nightly basis, that sets those energetic shifts as well too. That's why I'm always explaining things, because I know the healing can come through the words as well too. So that negative energy is just lower vibrational energy. And it's just a karmic cycle you're moving away from. That's all that is. Just a karmic cycle you're moving away from. A karmic cycle you're moving away from. Karmic cycle you're moving away from. Okay. How does your energy feel? Put it in the comment section. Put it in the chat. I read those chats and read the comment section. So put it there. Okay. Breathe. And let it go. You have permission to let it go. You have permission to not hold on to the baggage anymore. You have permission to not stay stuck in one part of your life. You have permission to just release and heal. You have that same way. Hence, that's why I really enjoy this inclusive prayer that I created. But it is just your understanding. Sometimes it could be nature. A lot of y'all be leaning towards God, which I always find very fascinating because it shows, as I don't know if you all know this, but you probably do. I'm a really big, like, religious studies kind of nerd. But I actually like looking at different religions. Sometimes people like to concentrate on one, but I like looking at different ones. And we're going through this evolutionary change or evolution of religion from an anthropological and a sociological perspective right now. The way that we're looking at maybe some of the really large worldwide religions is we are becoming more spiritual in it. It is less about the religion and more about the spiritual aspect. And even the purest form of the spiritual aspect, which is called mysticism. So there's mystical aspects in whatever religion. It is called the specific spiritual path, of whatever that religion is. We are trying to fuse that together. We want to really live that, and then we are kind of moving away from like discriminatory thoughts and practices that don't make sense. We are taking personal responsibility. We understand that you cannot look at somebody and understand where they're at spiritually, that it is all of our individual responsibility to take responsibility for ourselves. And that's a beautiful thing that's happening. So again, whatever connection you feel most comfortable with, pull that in. So I'm going to pull that in through the top and bring that in. And what this feels like is unconditional love. When you connect to the divine, it is simply unconditional love. When we are in spirit form, okay, as the soul enters the body, as it leaves the body, we are souls, we just have this carbon-based experience. But as our soul, enters and leaves the body, before we're in the body and after we leave the body, if we are at a, state of balance, we are with, and one with the collective, the universe, everything. And that feeling is unconditional love. It is not the hard stress and pain of reality. What happens to souls is that they can get stuck in certain karmic cycles. When we are in soul form, we see things from the higher view because the exercise I had when I'm like, come outside of your body and look down, you were no longer limited by your physical stuff. And the physical stuff, as I said before, your feelings can feel like reality. And if they're changing every minute or so, you start feeling a little bit crazy. But when you hover above yourself, that is just you kind of being in that spirit form and seeing things. So us as souls see the big picture. Us as souls look at the life that we chose and said, okay, this is the life I need for my soul to get this understanding. And as soon as we go into the actual body, then we are hindered by all of this physical stuff and we forget all of that wisdom. But when we go into our prayer or meditation or channeling or whatever you do, we can remember a little bit more. We're still, physical, so enjoy those physical experiences. I don't really understand when people just want to live all the way up here in the physical form. It's like, look, you got time to do that once you're, ready to move on in this lifetime. Enjoy this physical experience because there's a reason why the soul wants to come into the body, because it wants to experience, it understands that the complex dynamic experiences in life that we have is a part of the soul's evolutionary growth. The soul changes forever because it's able to live out and to test things out. I've heard people describe this experience as being in the earth school or something like that. But that's kind of like what's happening with the soul in that moment. So hopefully this will relieve some of your stress. Another way that I personally like to relieve stress is I that stress you out really don't have to, stress you out that much. You will most certainly encounter tough times at times. Don't get me wrong with that. But you don't have to hold on to it. Experience it in the moment. It is what it is. But you don't have to hold on to it, because our life is so short in the span of the universe that, can you imagine if you spent most of that time just uncomfortable? So you have the power. Life isn't happening to you. You are co-creating it. You have the power to determine what you want. Stop asking the universe and stop asking God for things. Oh, I want this, God, I want that. Tell the universe, tell God that I want this, and surrender to the path that is in front of you, or your understanding of what the universe or the divine is. Say what you want. Say, universe, I want this. Please put me on the path. That is how you co-create. Please put me on the path. I will not judge, and I surrender to the path. And that's how you have faith. That's okay. We're going to work on that 2023 and on, okay? We're going to work on that then, so that you can feel lighter, whole, and better. So if you're new to the community, welcome, babies. This is your nightly self-care routine. You do whatever it is you want to do during this time. Sometimes people like to write, journal, channel, do whatever. Also remember that the comment section is a place that can be your journal, your diary. It can be a place to support others, or sometimes you just want to remember something. We're all in our individual healing experience. So this is a safe, inclusive community for us to do that. And if you are returning, welcome back, babies. You know how much I love you. Okay, so let's begin to remove, shifting the energy, and just let go of these toxic things that no longer need to stay in your energy, in your aura, just even the patterns, because sometimes mentally you might believe that something is better for you and it might just be toxic. So let's go ahead and remove some of this energy. So working through this shift. Okay. And just going back and forth here. And just being balanced. So I'm going to go in with some Reiki symbols, and I want you to just breathe through this, okay? Okay. Got it. Now just let me take a couple moments just to feel the energy. Just making sure everything is moving in the direction that it needs to. And you just breathe in and out here. What should come up is a sensation of letting go, releasing, kind of like if you have a backpack on, you just take it off. Don't force it, don't overthink it, don't have to overdo it, just release here. Okay. Now we start the session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer, it is a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay, wonderful. May I touch you? Okay. Breathe in and out here. Dear Mother, Father God, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest intentions and validate information from our highest self only. Please release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths need, and you're ready to just let it go. Anything in your past, anything that you want to release from, anything that is uncertain, anything that is limiting you, any toxic energy that needs to be let go from a person, situation, circumstance, or even a memory. Okay, I'm going to pull a little bit more out here. So just going into the unconscious here and removing something that just needs to be let go. Just allow it to be removed. Okay. Just any little piece that is no longer serving you, that needs to be released. Okay. Let me just shift some of this over and just move that a little bit, and just take a couple moments of balancing here. Okay. Just taking away the things that are no longer serving you, the things that need to be let go, the things that need to be released, that allow you to grow and be the person that you need to be. Okay. Sometimes you gotta let go of certain patterns that just feel normal and natural simply because it's a pattern, but it's no longer serving you. Also, a pattern of self-sabotage in which you may feel like you have to make something wrong even when things are right, because there's just maybe you just never learned how to accept the goodness in your life, or you never learned how to accept the peace and the ease and the blessings that really are there for you to have in your life. Okay. And let's cut out some of these people that try to latch on. Try to use up your good energy, your good headspace as well. And let's just let go of any karmic stuff that we keep simply because we might have this toxic loyalty to it, and we gotta let it go. Now let's go through generations, whether that is energetic family or your physical family, of needing to remove generational curses or toxic loyalties. You may love somebody in your family so much so that you will participate in toxic loyalty simply because you love that person, and you know they're not going to leave. You know they're not going to break that cycle. You know they're not going to remove themselves. And so this is an opportunity to be able to go in and you be that shift, because when you shine a light of a new way, it gives them an opportunity to do so, and maybe they choose not to, and you have to make peace with that, because you deserve that love in that similar way from someone or some group of people or some energy that can bring that to you. Bring that to you. Bring that to you. Bring that to you. So let's remove that. Now, if there's anything I haven't said that systems as well, and breathing in and out. And you can just allow the energy to flow through the hands. It is a connection, a reigniting this power within you. So breathing in and out here, and accepting this beauty that is within you. Accepting this beauty that is you. Okay, so shifting this and releasing, shifting the karmic patterns, shifting the karmic belief systems, and letting it go. Okay, letting it go, 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 letting it go. Got it. Got it. Okay. Now going on down to that solar plexus, it's making sure that that is nice and open, because I want you to be able to be fully connected to your journey and to have all the strength that you need there. Okay. Bringing that down now to the sacral, shifting the energy a bit. And this helps to balance the stress as well, so that the body is able to interpret what's going on in life with less of a stress response. So balancing here in the sacral, just moving that energy back and forth, because we've been able to let go of the toxicity, and now we're just making sure that right and balanced energy is moving back and forth in the way it needs to, connecting from that sacral to the solar plexus to the heart, heart to the throat, throat to the third eye to the crown, all the way up, and that crown to the third eye to the throat, throat to the heart, heart to the solar plexus to the sacral. Just taking a couple moments here. Got it, got it, got it, got it. Now bringing it down to the root, anchoring you down in your sense of security, physical, financial, emotional, community sense, all of those things that represent nourishing the physical body as well, having that here. And just releasing any toxic patterns that may have prevented that in the past, or that just may feel familiar and you're just not aware of it. So I'm actually going to go in and remove any extra things, because we definitely want to be very thorough here. Okay, in the root, so that connection feels good, and we're disconnecting from any connection to, as I talked about, toxic loyalty. Let it go. You know, where we root ourselves and where we anchor ourselves down in. Sometimes we can anchor ourselves down in ideology, beliefs, patterns that don't serve us and can be quite toxic. Maybe it was healing at once, but then it just becomes like time to move on. Okay, so let's just take that negative energy away. Okay, I'm going to take this down from the sacral to the root, merging the energies together, inhaling and exhaling, releasing and letting go, inhaling and exhaling, releasing and letting go, inhaling and exhaling, releasing, letting go, inhaling and exhaling, releasing, letting go, taking this all the way down to the tippy toes, or whatever area feels most comfortable and accessible to you, and bringing that energy and just flowing it down these energetic roots into the center of the earth, so that you can feel the energy back up in your physical body, that you have everything you need and your needs are met. Okay, got it, 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 got it. Okay, so I'm going to place my hands right at your root, stretching the energy up, allowing you to feel balanced in who you are, where you're at, and where you're going. Taking this energy from the front body and moving that around from the side body as well. Okay. Okay. All over the top, to the side, all the way around, back up. And I'm going to do this a couple more times, okay? Keep breathing here. Exhale, let it go. 2 more, letting go of all the toxic energy left. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Final breath. And whenever you're ready, you go ahead and let that air go. Beautiful energy, squeaky clean. Like we just poured Epsom salt all on your chakras. Well, let's go ahead and smooth over your aura. Seal you with the sign of the infinity. And just check in with you. How are you feeling? How's it going? Leave it in the comment section so that I can read it. Breathe in and out in this. Accept the blessings in your life. Accept the fruitful opportunities that will come up. And accept the fact that you may be bigger and more visible in the world than you might know. So don't be afraid to show up and be yourself. For all those who are looking to take their practice to another level and to start working with others, Reiki 1 will be starting September 18th, and September 1st is when the registration will happen, and I will post a link for people to be able to register for that. So excited. Also working on something for those who are not looking to be a practitioner but want to take their healing practice to the next level as well in their self-healing. So excited about that too. Of course, if you want more intuitive work, head on over to Array Tarot. If you want to have discussions on entrepreneurial stuff, head on over to the podcast Organize Your Purpose and all that other stuff in the description box, babies. I love you. You know I love you. Okay, I wouldn't show up every day if I didn't. And I'm excited for you. And 2020 was a year. 2021 is a year. And just know that any changes are always opportunities for great expansion. We're so lucky to be in an opportunity to change when sometimes, you have those times in your life where nothing changes, and even when you try to make it change, it will not change. But now you got this fast change. So don't get overwhelmed. Try not to be negative, even though you can be objective. You can keep it real if it's like something's making you uncomfortable or something like that. But know that there's no situation that will show up in your life that you cannot overcome. Believe that. Feel that within yourself. If you gotta look yourself in the mirror and say it, do it. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks outside of you. The only thing that matters is what you think inside of you. It's the only thing that matters. And today we have a special healing session. It is removing negative energy and releasing anxiety. So if you're new to the community, welcome, babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, a place where you take care of yourself, okay? Each and every night you're working on yourself. You're healing yourself. You're becoming more confident in general. And so for all my new babies, welcome, welcome. And to all my returning babies, welcome, welcome back. Mama loves you. Give you some kisses. So if you are new to the community, we start the community off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It is a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and to bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay, may I touch you? Okay. Dear universe and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Okay, okay, okay. So I'm just going to start by pulling out any bits of negativity showing just so much that, just analysis paralysis, It can be hard to know what is important to keep in mind. And also needing to disconnect, from always just absorbing. We have to process that information as well. So that's a part of the journey too. So removing that, taking that out. And I think, don't get me wrong, knowledge is power. Your mindset sets you apart. Your mindset is what allows you to know that, hey, I might be here, but I can get to wherever I want to go. So knowledge is important, but sometimes you receive so many messages that it's like you don't even have time to follow one. So it's really important for you to be able to think on your own, for you to come up with your own understandings and approach towards this life. I mean, everybody has an opinion. You can have your own, and understand that your opinion works best for you. It doesn't mean that it works best for everyone. As someone who has been in this esoteric journey for quite a while, and someone who just enjoys history and learning about, these different energetic properties as well, I realize that there is a lot of knowledge that I come across that makes sense, and I have people tell me like it makes sense, but it's not the only knowledge out there. I'm a strong believer that in each one of our cultures and our various, groups and societies, that these similar themes, show up, and they're just described in new and different ways. And so that way, whatever you're seeking or searching for can show up in your life in a very familiar way. That's why when people ask me, or not when people ask me, I don't feel like I get this question. When I ponder, what is the right religion? I don't believe that there is one. I believe that it is all an experience, and depending on your culture, and depending on, where you're from, those people interpreted this divine experience that way, and we, have the ability to make changes if it no longer, suits us. But this beautiful divine connection with whatever's out here can be found anywhere, so you can't get it wrong. I say it because you can't get it wrong. You deserve to be connected to the universe. You deserve to know that the universe has your back. You deserve to know that you are infinitely loved and unconditionally loved. Unconditionally. 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 Like, why am I saying it so many times? A religion is not a condition. Like a religion, like you shouldn't feel like in order to have the love from the universe that you must be a certain faith, because you will have that love regardless. And people will try to tell you that no, that is not true. You have to do this or you have to do that within this certain space, this certain faith. But just understand, a lot of times people do that because they're trying to control you. Your relationship with the divine, it exists outside of religion as well. It exists in every moment you live. If you choose to have a religious experience, that's beautiful, and you can have it there. And if you choose not to, it is equally as beautiful. Not less, equally as beautiful. Sometimes more. But I say all that to say, you can't get it wrong. You cannot get it wrong. The universe loves you regardless. The universe is with you regardless. The universe will guide you. If you say, universe, I need to be a part of a religion, it'll make me feel better, the universe will send you the religion that you need that makes you feel better. And if you say to the universe, I cannot be a part of religion, the universe will send you a path that does not include a religion. The universe has your back. You are unconditionally loved at all times, and you're on this journey of spiritual growth we look at, religious traditions, because I really enjoyed that. I went and I enjoyed it so much. I got a degree in religious studies. So, but when we look at religious traditions, there's a lot of information that pops up. But over time, cultures and societies, they'll adapt whatever that religious tradition is, and they'll kind of condense the knowledge. But if we were to look at every body of work presented for every, spiritual faith, there would be contradictions, there would be weird stuff, there would be like all kinds of stuff. There would be a lot of sharing or stealing or sharing, whatever, of understandings from other faiths that are existing at that time. And so that lets you know, well, why would someone not want you to have all that information? Well, if you feel like a faith, is not all knowing, would you really want to stick with it? Well, you might say, well, I like this from this faith, or I like that from that faith. But the way that our social structures were set up, religion was one of those first places in which there was systemic power, systemic infrastructure. A lot of time, religion in societies represented the enforcement of those societal rules. So you may have the rules, in general, but when you have those esoteric rules, those things that can't necessarily be explained, religion stepped in and kind of created the parameters there. But at the end of the day, this experience in life is not about just, are you adhering to rules of a society at that certain time? No, don't do nothing illegal, but I'm saying like mentally, no, like universe, God, source, whatever you want to call this energy, is around us at all times. You cannot get it wrong. You can't get it wrong. You can't choose a path that's not going to work for you. You can't. Anything that you want, you can have. It changes. Don't get me wrong, it changes. The older you get, the more that you progress, what you want changes, and you can have that. But I mean, religions aren't the only place that do this. Countries, societies, like, do this as well. Think about it. Think about the Roe v. Wade decision. That has everything to do with women and equity, and everything to do with trying to control the population. Because for a long time, societies were able to do that. Why am I bringing this up in this moment of, wanting to remove negative energy and anxiety? To understand that just because someone is trying to control you does not mean you have to be controlled. You get what I'm trying to say? And it really sucks, because you will have entire family systems, communities, and people that you really care about who will get brainwashed and sucked into all of these different things, in order to maintain a social order that actually doesn't even benefit them. It's really interesting. It is really, really interesting. But I say all that to say, you want to remove this anxiety. You want to release some of this anxiety. Start to make your own decisions. Start to go to multiple sources for your information. Start to decide what life you want, what really makes you happy, not what your parents makes you happy, not what your friends, not what your community, not what you think society wants, but truly, like, when you go into your heart, what makes you happy. And when you take the pressure off yourself to live up to everybody's expectations, because we got all this information coming in and we want to, live up to everybody's expectations. When you remove that, you will simply enjoy life more. You'll simply be able to be in this moment more. You can be in this energy more. And you know that you have the right to your mind. No one is ever allowed to control your they want on everything else, but they're not allowed to have your mind, and that's what people want. Well, structures, big structures, and even in relationships, you see those very interesting power struggle dynamics happen in families and relationships in the working environment. They want your mind, but never give them your mind. Your mind belongs to you. Your mind can see you through any obstacle, no matter how bad or tough or difficult the situation is. Your mind can make a plan. Never give up your mind. Keep your mind. Keep your mind. Because the things that are making you anxious are just distractions that people throw at you in order to control your mind. Let it go. Stop living up to other people's expectations. Just check in with yourself. Connect with yourself. Be in love with yourself and in this moment in life. Appreciate every part of life. Every moment that you wake up and you just feel like, oh, it is so beautiful to be alive. Doesn't mean you have all your problems solved. It simply means I will not give my mind up. I will not give in to anxiety. I will not give in to depression. I will not give in to these things in which people are trying to control me, or people are trying to confuse me. Because a lot of times people use misinformation as a weapon. We see it often. Decide what you want and stick with that, and you can change it over time if you'd like to. But the anxiety, you don't have to hold on to it. And that's going to make a lot of people mad. It's making a lot of people mad who want to control you. But you don't have to let those people control you. You decide what you want, and then you go and make the life that you want. You decide that no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what you've experienced, that you deserve whatever life that it is that you're seeking or searching for, and you go out there and you make it happen. Because you can. You do not have to play into any of this stuff. You go and make that life that you want. You make it happen. It shouldn't be just a few people who are happy in society. It should be everyone being able to enjoy life, having a livable wage, being able to express themselves and their journey in this thing we call life. But how you do that is you keep this, okay? Well, babies, I hope you enjoyed this session. You know, with confidence is key. A lot of this is mindset work and understanding that the mind is the most powerful thing that we have. And it's so interesting that no matter what it is in your life, you have the ability to see something greater. What I mean by that is there is nobody who can come in here and tell you what you're going to do in your life. There's nobody who is here and can make a better informed decision for your life than you can. But we give our power away each and every day because sometimes we're just trained to do it. We just think that's just how things are. No, it's not. It's not like that. Hold your peace. Hold your happiness. You deserve to be happy. You do not have to live out the happiness standards to a society or a hierarchy that will not even nurture you to have a livable wage, to enjoy life, to have freedom of the spiritual expression and expansion. Do you, because your mind will guide you to where you need to go, because you got to understand the universe already has your back. The universe will let you do whatever you want to, but you have to unlock your mind. And I've seen people talk about this before, and they'll say something like this, like, they'll say you gotta unlock your mind because the reptilians are coming off a spaceship So let's go. Okay, so let's go by removing these negative thoughts. And we use the scissors. So taking that first thought and removing them. Now during this moment, you can allow the thoughts that maybe make you feel like you're not enough or you're not good enough or something. You can release them into the session and we can just cut them off. Okay? Cut those thoughts off. Trimming the energetic hairs of your aura. And just in general, just kind of giving it a nice little shape up. But the sensation of cord cutting, the sensation of letting things go that are no longer servicing you, releasing it. Sometimes we need this abrupt end to things that no longer work, so that we can be released from it. So that thought right there, just pulling it out and just being able to remove that as it shows up. Being able to let things go. And the way that you do this in your life is that put yourself in a new environment where you have to do new things, okay? Put yourself in that environment. You do those new things. And that snaps you out of being stuck in a certain mentality, a certain limiting belief about yourself, or just letting these negative thoughts just run wild in the mind. 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 So let's just let some stuff go. Just things that could have shown up from years ago, no longer serving you. You don't need them anymore. You know, negative thoughts give you this false sense of control over things you have no control over. It just wants to be right, and it will let you think anything, any crazy thought in order to be right. Because when people face trauma and they're trying to be released from trauma, they're often put in situations where they're not in control. They're not in control of their life. They're not in control of their surroundings. So sometimes the anxiety or the negative thoughts may begin because the self is trying to just be in control of something. And it allows the fear, which is the motivating factor of movement, to dictate what the mind perceives things. They might even feel like regular schmegular things that you're experiencing in life can be too overwhelming. Meeting a new person sometimes can create negative thoughts. Starting a new role, starting a new journey. All of these things that bring up these negative thoughts are things that you should face, to face the fear. But you have to face them without creating the trauma or without allowing the trauma to just run rampant there. Instead, you face them with the biggest, energy you can and relearn how to move in that direction. So, taking away the fear that so easily shows up in this kind of stuff and just creating space. Because, we think about physical orders, but you can very much so be an emotional order if you do not create space, still removing all of these negative thoughts. If you do not create space within yourself to be able to bring new it's just overwhelming to get things done. And you can see physical hoarding. That still doesn't stop people from doing it, but you can see physical hoarding. You can see things piling up. You can also ignore it too, but internal hoarding, hoarding emotions, hoarding feelings, hoarding traumas, hoarding experiences, that kind of stuff you can't see. You can play it off really well by being, clean cut on the outside, and on the inside it's just like, a lot going on. You have to hold yourself 1,000% responsible for facing those things and clearing and cleansing them out in your best way. Some people choose a spiritual path, some people choose a religious path, some people choose a mindful path, some people choose a practical path. There's not one right path. It's just whatever you feel connected to and helps you in this journey as you are going forward and clearing out these negative thoughts. Because once you remove those negative thoughts, they can turn into positive thoughts. They can turn into but oftentimes you really have to revamp the entire surrounding. Meaning, if you want to stop having negative thoughts, you can't be around people who have negative thoughts too. Meaning, just having an opposing thought is normal. Okay, it's okay to not, everything's gonna be perfect. But if you know that you're around people who complain all the time, and you're trying to stop complaining as much to be in a different space of gratitude, then I would say that you have to shift your energy around them. Or say they're really nice people, but you notice that they fall into these habits that you associate with your negative thoughts. Well, you gotta create distance. There are many people that I love, and I also had to take steps to the side and okay, I'm gonna let you figure that out. But for my own mental health support, internal health support, energetic support, I'm gonna be over here. I'm gonna wait when you get there, but I'm gonna be over here living my best life in my blessed life. You feel me? Because there's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes you gotta leave the party, because if the party's still jumping, even though everybody is sloppy at this point, they're sweaty, there's no more food left, sometimes you gotta leave the party so that everyone else is like, okay, I think it's time to go home and go to sleep. Just leave the party. Go home and get some rest. Go home and get some rest. Go home and get some rest. Just removing these thoughts that no longer serve you. Removing the thoughts that make you feel less than and not enough. Let's just take them out. And we all learn a lot of stuff from our early experiences. And then we anchor them in through our everyday experience. So just be able to let some of that stuff go. Let some of that stuff go. Let some of that stuff go. Let it 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 go. And remove that energy. Remove that energy. Remove those negative thoughts. Now we gotta go into overtime. We gotta get all of them. Even the ones we don't think about as much. Let's just get them out. Get you a nice long one. Just pull it out. Just remove it. And allow yourself the space and the freedom to just let go. I think the moment that a hoarder decides to let things go, and they decide it, because if you take it from them, then they go crazy and they just, get 20 times more stuff. But the moment that a hoarder decides to let these things go, they start to feel lighter. The same happens internally. The moment that you're ready to let these feelings go, if you hold Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. So let's just begin to smooth away any physical pain. If there's anything that you've been dealing with physically, let's go in and shift the energy to remove that, to ease that, and to bring you some relief. Breathing in and out, letting go with each breath, removing yourself from that experience, letting go, allowing it to fall off your fingertips, no longer something you need to experience. So just wiping that off the front body, releasing your energy from that, and going all the way back to its original connection, original start, and removing that energy and letting that go, letting it go, letting it go. Good job. Relax, 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 relax. Enjoy this as each moment releases something else that needs to be let go, something else that is going to move on its evolutionary experience, and for you to understand why the experience came to you to visit. Let's just move that physical pain away. Okay, good job, good job, good job, good job, good job, good job. Now let's go ahead and connect with the mental and emotional pain. A lot of times when we're talking about past pain, we're talking about internal things. More than anything else, pain that exists, that began a long time ago, that is just so hard to let go. So going inside now and just cleansing that out and wiping it out. So I'm going to start removing that past pain. You no longer have to deal with that. You no longer have to have that. You no longer are required to have to endure that. emotional level and the mental level. Now we're going to work on the energetic level, the origins of all balance in your body, okay? I'm going to just trace your energy a little bit. Just relax here. Just breathe in and out. Just tracing that. And get in the flow of your own energy. And sweetness, you are doing a great, great, great job. Keep breathing in and out and letting go. Releasing the energy that is the past pain. Letting it go. No longer needing to hold on to it. No longer allowing it to be a part of your identity. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Okay, good job. Good job. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go and do some Reiki symbols. Just to calm the energy. Just to give you a nice little energetic massage. And to relax you in this space, okay? Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Rest here. Rest here. Rest here. Good job. Okay, let's wipe away the past, leaving it where it is, and letting go of it. It was lovely once, and then it was not. And that is the time that lets you know the lesson was over. And that the pain is a reminder to let go. The longer you hold on to it, the longer it lingers. Just let it go. There's no incentive anymore. Release that. Let them go. Let that memory go. Let that experience go. Let those set of circumstances go. Let it go. It cannot come with you where you are going. And where you're going is always better than where you have been. But do not bring that energetic baggage with you. Don't let that rotten piece of energy spoil the beautiful energy session, fall asleep, listen to it while you're doing something else. That's your business, baby. That is your business. And for all my returning babies, welcome back. Mama loves you. So happy to see you in this space. But more importantly, happy that you are taking time out for your daily self-care practice, okay? Okay. So if you're new, we start the session off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer. It is a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and a collective. And because consent matters, baby, what am I going to ask you? Do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay. May I touch you? Cool. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest intentions and validate information from our highest self only. Please release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. And your Ashe is like the concept of Chi, which is your life force energy. It comes from the Yoruba tradition, as we know that Chi comes from the TCM, the traditional Chinese medicine aspect of healing. So it is just your energy in your wave and your flow, okay? So let's go through setbacks, and so begin by just going through some washing here, and that's just letting go. When you have a setback, it oftentimes creates an opportunity for you to know why you are doing something. Are you doing it because you need for others to notice what you're doing right now? Are you doing it because you love to do it? Are you doing it regardless of how others feel about it? Just how you feel about it. That's up to you. But what setbacks teach us is they teach us how to persist when things aren't going the way we expect them to, but yet we still have love and drive and motivation for something. And if you let a setback, and I'm going to get into the washing, but if you let a setback prevent you or stop you from a dream or a goal, you engage in self-sabotage, because setbacks don't mean that something isn't working. A setback lets you know that when the external conditions are perhaps not ideal, how do you handle that? What do you do to get to the other side? That's what it teaches you. That's what it lets you know. But sometimes the mind can play tricks on us and make us think that a setback is the opposite, which is it's just a sign that something isn't working or worth it, or that it will not work. And that is far from the truth. It is those who are able to persist through setbacks that define the world we live in today. It is those who gave up, even though they were talented, even though they were brilliant, but they gave up. Those who gave up, that didn't get a chance to have their dream and their purpose fulfilled. So the setback is a tool used to sharpen you. Now you do what you need to, babies, because no one likes to hear something not go their way. But understand, what can you pull from when you experience a setback that can take you to your next level? Because a lot of times when people experience a setback, it's typically around times where a bunch of people are experiencing setbacks. yourself, balance your mind, balance your thoughts, balance your feelings long enough, you'll be able to see a clear path in a new direction, maybe even a better direction. Something that the setback created an opportunity to see something much bigger, or even internally create a fire within you that you wouldn't have been able to see before if everything was going just smooth. And also understand that you start to stand out when you're able to hold your head up high and continue to work towards something, even when things aren't going the way that you had hoped it to go. You start to stand out. First, people start to look at you like, yeah, they're crazy. Then they start to pay attention to what you're doing, because what you wanted to share was always purposeful. And then, after you get that momentum, after many people have fallen off, and you just keep going, then people start to look and just think, wow, how amazing are you? It really is that simple. I see people all the time who want to have wellness communities like this community. And the only difference between me and them, or me and you, is just me putting in the time each and every day to facilitate these experiences, make sure that they're enjoyable for you, and to open up the dialogue to conversation. That's it. That is it. But most people will not put in the time for what they want. And when you have setbacks, babies, I had a good year or two where it was just me and might have been 1,000 people. I know that I don't even think I got to 1,000 people the first year. And you see how much I post these videos. But those people who were there, they were the right people. They were like we are now in this community. They were loving each other and supporting each other. And it was more purposeful than if it was just a lot of people there saying crazy stuff. I used to think, oh gosh, if I get on the internet, people are going to say crazy stuff. But what I realize is sometimes it takes a while for you to blossom and bloom, because time is attracting the right surrounding for you. A lot of times when people are just kind of catapulted into something they're not prepared to, they may love it, but they might fall under the pressure. And also the people who are around them, they haven't had enough time to know who they truly are. You know who I am. You can go and look through all 620 videos to see it. And it creates a safe space. You know, when you come into this space, it is a space that is safe. I don't be allowing no riffraff. And, you know, that's just how it is. But if you want to overcome a setback, you just have to keep taking steps forward. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all, babies. And just do it the best way you know how. And, you know, this is like next level manifestation. I'm about to teach y'all some stuff. I'm gonna get y'all into some, you know what I'm saying? Next level manifestation. When you have setbacks, there's always clues from the universe that teach you how to have like a little hack in the setback. It's almost like what appears on the outside looks like a setback, but really the universe is sending you an opportunity to take yourself forward very quickly. But the shift is an internal one, and then the external results come later. And a lot of people just, they don't know how to spot that, or they haven't taken the time to, you know, learn how to value that. It gets create an environment where two complete strangers could come and make each other feel supported. So what are you doing? What is your impact? How do you connect with people? What is it that you're doing that you know? This is your karmic experience. This is North Node stuff. This is what your soul promised yourself as it incarnated into this experience for you to do. What is that? If you don't know, that's perfectly fine. This is actually my favorite part if you don't know, because then you get to try out a lot of stuff. And who gives, and I'm serious here, who gives a motherfuck if it makes sense? It doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone of why you want to try this or try that. Baby, just try it out, and eventually you're going to get to some things that stick, some things that you like. And then when you get to that place of, okay, you figured out some things that you like, that you start seeing setbacks, and instead of just reacting to them, you start looking at them. What is this trying to teach me? Where should I go from that? And then you just keep moving on from there and just taking more and more steps each and every day, sweetness. So I'm gonna just take this all around you, because I feel like the aura has been washed thoroughly. I'm just taking that around your body and just kind of cleansing you, giving you a refresh, sweetness. Just letting it go. Letting it go, letting it go. Most of the time, people tell me that what they love so much about the community is that they feel that I spoil you. They feel that they're being spoiled. And that's really important, because when you learn how to spoil yourself, you won't need me anymore, which is good. That's a good thing. That's the goal. Or maybe you'll like to overindulge, you spoil yourself, and then you'll, get a little bit extra from me. But when you are on that journey of self-love, it can be very comforting to have someone just say it's okay, that you are so lovely, and to show you, and to live as an example, and to create a space where it's like, love yourself, and you don't have to have a reason why. Yeah, just do, just because. That's good enough. And go through life. Yeah, go through shit from time. That's okay. That's good. And just keeping it going. Well, babies, I had a fantabulous time, per usual, and I want to say thank you for stopping by for your nightly self-care routine. You come back tomorrow, and this is an important time for you to take care of yourself, to remind yourself that most of the things that we want to see on the outside start with those shifts on the inside. So working on yourself, having self-care practices that you do, it's what aligns you so you can receive what you want externally. It's that simple. It's that simple. Well, babies, if no one has said it, let me go ahead and say it, sweetness. I love you, but who cares that I love you? The only thing that matters is that you love you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all my new babies, and welcome, welcome back to all my returning babies. Mama loves you. Okay. So, as we work on restoring your energy, it's going to be pulling away excess energy, negative energy, any kind of feelings that are anxious or anything like that. Maybe even overthinking, cooling and calming down the aura. But before we get started, we say a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It is a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and to bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay. May I touch you? Okay. You ready? Take a deep breath. Exhale. 2 more, sweetness. Final breath. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only. Please connect us to our highest self and our highest intention only. Please validate information from our highest self only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I Am. Ashe. 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 Okay. So, I hope you enjoyed the prayer. And I hope you like how it's changed over time. It's going to continue to change. I always encourage everyone to change, keep changing, and keep growing. So now we're going to get into the restoration part. So just relax your energy down. Take your time. Take your time. And let's just work on overthinking first, okay? Because sometimes we can be really tired, but the mind is just like... So let's go for the thoughts first. Each little thought, just take it. Take it. Take it. Take it. Each little thought, each little thought, each little thought, each little thought. Little thought, each little thought. Just take it out. And let's just smooth over. Okay. Okay. And just remember to continue your breathing here. It's really important. It doesn't have to be too deep, but it shouldn't be too shallow. Just be mindful, be regular with it, because a lot of times in everyday life we actually don't breathe deep enough. And so just think about all of the oxygen we are cutting off from our brain, and a lot of times a lot of just mindful breaths can really help alleviate some of the just everyday symptoms we have of just not having that oxygen to our brain and to our body. But sometimes when we breathe so deeply, we get lightheaded, which can be a good thing if you are like anxious and you just feel like all over the place. Sometimes those deep breaths kind of just calm you down. Another thing for anxiety is like if you could physically go into action and burn off the excess energy. I actually got that from Netflix. Has this series. It's called Explained. That's what it's called. They talk about a lot of stuff, but they were talking about the mind. They have this kind of like, it's like a limited series about the mind. So good. And then they went over anxiety. Oh, that was really good. And they were talking about how like your body gets in a state of fight or flight when you're anxious. And they were talking about, well, how do you relieve that, and what systems shut down when you're anxious? But one way to burn off that excess energy is, as they were saying, like exercise or because our wiring as a species and our adaptability to a new environment has now made us believe that this thing can hurt us. And I talk about psychosomatic conditions where we have emotional trauma or emotional hurting or things that are happening on the inside, and as it manifests out in the physical side, and that within itself is basically saying like this instinct that we have, these things that our species as a whole has, in order to kind of make it through life, has now adapted to our modern day environment. So when someone is having a deep anxiety, a panic attack or something like that, it feels like true danger is happening. And so the reason why I wanted to explain it is that life isn't just happening to you. You have more power than you know, but I think power comes from understanding what's happening first. And when you understand what's happening first, you then empower yourself to be able to make changes or to be in control of how you want to move or what works best for you. I say it all the time, it is important to know what's going on in your body. It's important to understand your lineage and your legacy, because baby, let me tell you something. If you go through life and you have a string of unfortunate events, if you do not know your lineage or your legacy or your ancestors, you might just think other people have it easy. You might just think it's happening to you. But when you have these stories of resilience and you have these stories of people that you come from that have made it through similar situations or worse, you start to realize, oh, I'm built for this, But if you don't, if you're disconnected and you're just kind of like a island, then you don't get the benefits of knowing that for generations people of this species have been able to get to the other side. Because for us, we think the beginning of time is whenever we were born, and then we start to realize through history and things like that, that time has existed before this moment. And that's the biggest cheat code in life, to pay attention, to pay attention to history. That's actually it's a sign of a great civilization if they continue to not only document their history, but document the history that is before. Because sometimes when you delete a lot of history, which has happened over and over again, the group of people, they have to start all over again. So they have to rediscover things. And it's just so amazing that now we are in a world where everything is pretty much, connected. And we are moving so fast. Like, think about it. We just started to farm agriculture 20,000 years ago. Before that, we were all, nomadic. And then as we started to farm agriculture, we made the first civilizations. It was no longer like, small groups just going about. We now had infrastructure. And then, we started to develop technology. We started to harness things and be able to amplify it. And it's like, if you look at our progressive nature of the inventions we've made as a species, it's like this. And then where we are now is like so I say all of that to say, I know it seems a little bit all over the place, but I say all that to say we're working on you getting out of your own way, because you are contributing to this big picture. That's why I'm always explaining these long stories, because you have to understand that you are contributing to this big picture. So you may feel like in the moment that you are not motivated or you're anxious, or sometimes you just be like, should I really continue to do X, Y, and Z? But just know that you are contributing to the big picture, and it's okay to handle what you may feel moment to moment when times are maybe not going your way, or you have to adjust to a lot of change and things like that. But know that what you do say that to say that it is completely normal however you're feeling at all times. There's no such thing as like the normal life. You ever heard people like, I just want to be normal? Baby, there's no such thing. But like the way you're experiencing life is really how people experience life. It'd be like over here, up here, down there, like all kinds of places. That's normal. That is the norm. That's the norm. So let's normalize the real norm. So sweetness, I hope this brought smiles to your face as we're going through this healing, because sometimes you just gotta laugh. I think about it often. I'm always thinking about the big picture, and I know that, you all probably like it, but sometimes I can tell that people in my life is like, girl, we just trying to get something to eat today. And I'm like, but think about them. But think about the macro perspective, And then in the same hand, I do have friends who are like, they want to just get real deep and real weird, and I'm like, look, I can do that, but I don't need to do it every day, okay, girl? Or you. So all of that to simply say, life is just this big canvas, and you can paint it any kind of way, and you can use any type of energy. And when you're harnessing the different types of energy that you have, whether things are going up or things are going down, you can harness the energy. But when you're in the moment, it feels exactly how it feels. If it's good times, it feels great. If it's like shitty times, it doesn't feel good at all. It's all of those things at one time. And if you can find your grounding, or find your sense of balance wherever you're at along the journey, and just be like, let me experience these emotions, let me not react, but let me harness whatever I need to harness from it and be purposeful in it. You then start to always make movements, even if things appear not to be. Setbacks are just like, opportunities in your next story, that in the other story it looked like, the end of a chapter or the end of something. So that's how it works. And sometimes you can't be like happy-go-lucky all the time. Sometimes you do need to be a little bit reserved. Sometimes you do need to be excited. Sometimes you do need to be chilling your energy. Sometimes you need to be like, motivated. All of these things and these feelings that you experience are normal. That's all. So I'm going to continue to take out any doubt you may have. Anything taking up too much space. And moving the energy through. Relaxing the energy. Balancing the energy. Moving the energy. Finding peace in this energy. Finding abundance in this energy. Finding, 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 Okay,